What's going on, guys? So if you watched my video, I think 2 videos back, you will see me talking about focus and talking about eliminating things and doing less to be able to do more, specifically in writing, which is what I want to do, which is my long-term goal. And so now that I've been doing a lot of this, I've been focusing heavily on what I want to do. I've been eliminating a lot of these, other tasks and a lot of distractions. But there's been something I've realized as this stuff has been going on. And that is that I thought that these big things, like the big 5 or 6 things that I listed in that video, were going to be like the main things that were stopping me from focusing. And that all I had to do was cut these things out. And then when I did that, I would be able to focus a lot more and a lot better on writing. But the reality is, and it's been true somewhat, but it's not actually been the most important thing, and it hasn't been the biggest thing that has made the most difference. And I've realized that it's actually a lot more about the smaller things in my day-to-day that cause me to be distracted and cause me to be unproductive. So one of the things I've realized is how your brain works when it's trying to focus. So when you're trying to focus on a task, it actually takes your brain about 15 to 20 minutes to fully focus on that thing. So what you're really doing in that first 15 to 20 minutes isn't like super deep work. It's really just getting your brain to hone in on this task, begin work, really get in the zone, and then from there you can move forward. But what I've realized is there are all these little itty bitty things that end up interrupting that 10 to 15 minute window, or even past that, and sort of pull me out of my kind of deeper focus. And that's things like social media, like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and these sorts of things, or YouTube, or roommates talking to me, or getting texts from people who want to hang out, or replying to emails. All these sorts of things, I realize they're very, very small on their own, but the reality is they sort of train my mind to instantly respond to these things. And so when something comes in, or a text message or notification or an email or whatever, I immediately want to go reply to that thing and stop what I'm doing now, which is usually a big task that I already am struggling to do and struggling to focus on. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna release the stress on my brain from doing this thing and go over here and do this other task, and answer this email, or reply to this text, or plan what my lunch plans are, or whatever. And so I've realized that the way that your brain works, these little 30-second, minute-long tasks, they don't break your brain's focus for just 30 seconds or just a minute. The reality is they actually break your focus for another 15 to 20 minutes. So every time you have even one of these little breaks in focus, you have to restart the entire process of focusing all over again. And so this is extremely detrimental if you're trying to do something as difficult and as mentally consuming as, writing is, because let's say that you block out an hour. You're going to write for an hour. Then in this hour, let's say you have 3 distractions or 4 distractions, right? So each time you have one of these distractions, it's going to take you 15 to 20 minutes to get back into focus. And if you have 4 distractions over an hour, that means you're getting basically no deep work done. But the reality is, most of us, and I am definitely included in this, we don't just have 3 to 4 distractions an hour. We have more 20 to 30 distractions an hour, which means that you sit here down to write, and you have all these different things coming at you, and emails and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and YouTube and all these other distractions, and people wanting to talk to you in your house or your apartment. You want to make lunch plans or dinner plans or plan the week, all this different stuff. And then you wonder why you get 1 page written or 2 pages written, because you have not allowed yourself to actually get into the mental headspace and stay in that mental headspace for an extended amount of time to actually get those things done. And so focus really isn't about sitting down and being like, oh, I'm going to focus really hard and I'm just going to, it's not about willing yourself or forcing yourself to focus. It's really just about figuring out what distracts you, from the little things to the big things. But the reality is most of your biggest distractions are going to be small things that you don't realize are distracting you as much as they are. And so once you start to take inventory of what's distracting you, then you can start saying, okay, I'm going to cut these things out. I'm going to limit my ability to do this. I'm going to limit my ability to grab my phone while I'm trying to write. I'm going to tell people that they cannot contact me when I'm trying to write. I'm going to disconnect my computer from Wi-Fi while I'm writing. And then when you do these things, you'll find that it is suddenly massively easier to focus. Like, I was surprised at how quickly I was able to focus for longer periods of time when I was able to do that. When you put yourself in sort of like a boring room with absolutely nothing to do and no distractions, and the only thing that you can occupy your brain with is writing, you'd be surprised at how easy it can become to write 10 pages in a day or 5 pages in a day and think clearly and have all these different story ideas. Because when you're sort of living day to day, what's really holding you back is all of these little distractions and all these little things that pull your brain in a million different directions, and you're not actually able to focus and really think about what is your story idea, how is it, what is the structure of it, and just actually writing, getting through scenes and getting through pages. And so that's really what I wanted to talk about today. I would absolutely recommend you to focus on eliminating distractions instead of focusing on focus. And that's it. I'll see you on Monday.